Hi guys, my name is Robin and today I am bringing you a bookshelf tour. So I am starting up a booktube channel and I thought what better way to start it up than with a bookshelf tour. I have a ton of books. I have around 550 books, and while doing videos I only get to show a couple, and because I am planning on doing a TBR game as well, I thought it'd be a good idea to show you all of the books that I own, just so you know the kind of range of books I have to choose from for those prompts. I also just really like watching bookshelf tours, so I thought maybe it would be a good idea to do one and then maybe you guys will enjoy it as much as I do. This took me a very long time to film and an even longer time to edit, but I hope you guys enjoy and let's get into it. Okay, so starting off with my first shelf on this first bookshelf. This one and the one across the room are organised by rainbow, the other three are not. On the shelf you can see that I put some books standing upright and others stacked, and that's just to give me a bit more space on the shelves because I have a lot of books. I also have my little Pokemon Legos across here because I love Pokemon and I love building the Legos. Alright, so let's get into the books. I will just say as well that this bookshelf is a little in the dark. There's not much that I can do about that at the moment, so I'm just sorry it's a bit dark. Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Everless by Sarah Holland. Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. Obsidian and Stars by Julie Eschbau. Otherworld by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller. Throne of Glass, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, and Kingdom of Ash, all by Sarah J. Maas. Matched by Ali Condie. The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Crossed by Ali Condie. A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahira Murphy. Soulless by Gail Carriger. Frostblood by Ellie Blake. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. The Golden Tower by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. 10,000 Skies Above You by Claudia Gray. Blood Witch by Susan Dennard. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. Stealing Snow by Danielle Page. A Gathering of Shadows, This Savage Song, and Vicious, all by V.E. Schwab. Reached by Ali Condie. Okay, now we're moving on to the second shelf down. This one is going from white into the yellows and browns, and it has some of my pop vinyls on it from Beauty and the Beast, the new movie. I do have the ones from the old movie on the other bookcase as well, but these are the only ones I have from the new movie so far. A Million Worlds Without You by Claudia Gray. Fireblood by Ellie Blake. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. The Bronze Key by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. Steelheart and Firefight by Brandon Sanderson. What Happened to Goodbye by Sarah Dessen. The One by Kira Cass. The Golden Lily by Rochelle Mead. The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. The Immortal Crown by Rochelle Mead. The Siren by Kira Cass. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. The Diamond of Darkhold by Janine Duperoux. The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee. King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo, The Betrothed by Kiera Cass, Gathering Darkness by Morgan Rhodes, The City of Ember by Janine Duperoux, Lady Helen and the Dark Days Pact by Alison Goodman, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Hollow City, and Library of Souls, all by Ransom Riggs. The next shelf down is into the oranges and reds, and on this shelf I have half of my Doctor Who pop vinyls. The other half, again, are on the other shelf across the room. Because It Is My Blood by Gabrielle Zevin, The Prophet of Yonwood by Janine Duperoux, Tiger Lily by Jodie Lynn Anderson, The Towering Sky by Catherine McGee, The Elite by Kiera Cass, The Last Beginning by Lauren James, Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, The Fiery Heart by Rochelle Mead, Blood Red Road by Moira Young, Scythe by Neil Schusterman, A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, Nocturna by Maya Montaigne, The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid, Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes, Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, Valentine by Jodie McAllister, A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab, Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead, The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak, Requiem by Lauren Oliver, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. Okay, the next shelf we're on to is the pinks and purples. These have the pop vinyls from Moana and Mulan and Pocahontas. Spiritbound by Rochelle Mead, Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins, Lady Helen and the Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman, This Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, Map of Fates by Maggie Hall, The Ruby Circle by Rochelle Mead, Partials by Dan Wells, Wicked Fox by Kat Cho, The Winner's Curse by Marie Rutkowski, The Crown by Kiera Cass, Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, A Thousand Nights by E.K. Johnston, In the Age of Love and Chocolate by Gabrielle Zevin, Toil and Trouble, edited by Jessica Spotswood and Tess Sharp, The School for Good and Evil by Saman Chinani, Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray, Lifeblood by Jenna Showalter, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, Happily Ever After by Kiera Cass, Once and For All by Sarah Dessen, Raw by Cora Cormack, Dare Mighty Things by Heather Kaczynski, Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater, Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken, These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. We are now on to the fifth shelf down, and this one has purple and blue books. It also has my Saga pop vinyls. My Lady Jane and My Plain Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brodie Ashton and Jodie Meadows. It Wasn't Always Like This by Joy Preble, Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Young, Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J. Maas, Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Winter and Stars Above by Marissa Meyer, Mirage by Samoya Dowd, A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir, Dreamland by Sarah Dessen, Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard, Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Renegades by Marissa Meyer, The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, Truthwitch by Susan Dennett, The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, The Sleeping Prince by Melinda Salisbury, The School for Good and Evil, A World Without Princes by Saman Chinani, Perfect by Cecilia Ahan, The Empress by S.J. Kincaid, The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli, Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin, King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. So we've come to the last shelf on this bookshelf, which has my dark blue books on it. We also have some pop vinyls that don't really fit on other shelves. This is kind of the miscellaneous shelf. So we have Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, Tiana and the Frog from The Princess and the Frog, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Pumbaa from The Lion King, and Jasmine from Aladdin. I also have another Jasmine on the other shelf, but it's a newer version. And then we have a little Snorlax plushie in the back. From Twinkle with Love by Sandhya Menon, The Rest of the Story by Sarah Dessen, The Conspiracy of Us by Maggie Hall, The Dazzling Heights by Catherine McGee, All These Things I've Done by Gabrielle Zevin, When the Sky Fell on Splendor by Emily Henry, Dreams of Gods and Monsters and Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, The Diviners by Libba Bray, Saint Anything by Sarah Dessen, The Loneliness of Distant Beings by Caitlin, Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, Cinder, Scarlet and Cress by Marissa Meyer, Raw by Cecilia Ahern, The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu, A Million Junes by Emily Henry, Late Eclipses by Shannon Maguire, Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, One Giant Leap by Heather Kaczynski. Now we are on to the first shelf in the second bookshelf. So this is the last rainbow shelf that I have. On this shelf I have a painted skull that I got from Bali when I went a couple of years ago, and one of the tins from a Fairy Loot box, and that holds all of my magnetic bookmarks. The Indigo Spell by Rochelle Mead, The Beast's Heart by Lafie Shallcross, Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo, Wildcard by Marie Lu, Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare, Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth, Flawed by Cecilia Ahern, Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz, Sea Witch by Sarah Henning, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, Frost Like Night by Sarah Rush, The People of Sparks by Janine Duprou, The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw, The Swan Riders by Erin Bow, Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray, Wind Witch by Susan Dennett, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, The Next Together by Lauren James, Delirium by Lauren Oliver, The Moon and More by Sarah Dessen. We are on to the next shelf down, which has all of my green books. It also has my pop vinyls from Aladdin, and then one upper pop vinyl from Avatar: The Last Airbender. The Wicked King and the Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black, The School for Good and Evil, The Last Ever After by Saman Chinani, The Winner's Kiss by Marie Rutkowski, Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman, The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury, First Life by Gina Showalter, The Selection by Kira Cass, The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi, Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller, Frozen Tides by Morgan Rhodes, The Toll by Neil Schusterman, Graceling by Kristen Cashore, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, The Waking Land by Kelly Bates, The Goddess Test, Goddess Interrupted, The Goddess Inheritance, and The Goddess Legacy by Amy Carter, Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, Blood Promise by Rochelle Mead, Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, Akane by Lynette Noni, Fragments by Dan Wells. Alright, the next shelf has all of my grey books, and this one has the Beauty and the Beast pops I talked about before. These are from the first movie, and I have more of those than I have the other ones at the moment. The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray, Feed by Mira Grant, Disruption by Jessica Shervington, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, Cruel Crown by Victoria Aveyard, The Air by Kira Cass, The Scorpion Rules by Erin Bow, Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, Silver Shadows by Rochelle Mead, Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, Hunted by Megan Spooner, Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Sherwood by Megan Spooner, The Glittering Court by Rochelle Mead, Lady Helen and the Dark Day's Deceit by Alison Goodman, Ruins by Dan Wells, Pandemonium by Lauren Oliver, Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rush, Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, The Call by Peter O'Gurlin. The next shelf that I have is my grey books moving into my black books, and this shelf has some of my Doctor Who pop vinyls and also Daenerys Targaryen on the end. Heart of Thorns by Brie Barton, Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller, Delirium Stories by Lauren Oliver, The Silver Mask by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare, Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo, Fairest by Marissa Meyer, Ice Like Fire by Sarah Rush, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire, all by Cassandra Clare, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, The Host by Stephanie Meyer, Daughter of Deep Silence by Carrie Ryan, A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Frost and Starlight, all by Sarah J. Maas. The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay, all by Suzanne Collins. Flame in the Mist by Renee Ardier. Okay, this next shelf is just more of my black books, which I have a lot of. The next shelf after this is also all black books. And on this one we have some Disney pop vinyls. So we have some from Frozen, from Brave, and from Tangled. The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black, These Rebel Waves by Sarah Rush, a bind-up of Inside Out and Outside In by Maria V. Snyder, God's Grave by Jay Kristoff, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling, Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman, Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, Corruption by Jessica Shervington, The Winner's Crime by Marie Rutkowski, Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead, An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, Hive by A.J. Betts, Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, Game Board of the Gods by Rochelle Mead, Before She Ignites by Jody Meadows, Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart, Middle Game by Seanan Maguire. This is the last shelf on my rainbow bookshelves, just finishing off the rest of the black. And on the shelf we have 2 of the pop vinyls from The Hunger Games. I still need to collect more of those. And then pop vinyls from Pirates of the Caribbean. Lifelike by Jay Kristoff. Fire Study by Maria V. Snyder. The Martian by Andy Weir. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. City of Ghosts and Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Nightblood by Ellie Blake. Shallow Graves by Kelly Wallace. The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. Poison Study, Magic Study, and Shadow Study, all by Maria V. Snyder. The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg. And Zero Repeat Forever by G.S. Prendergast. This next bookcase is in the same room as the 2 rainbow ones, but this one actually holds all of my sister's books. The other books on here are mine, but I have read quite a few of them, so I thought I'd include them. On this shelf, she has quite a lot of Minecraft little figures. They're on the top shelf as well, that I haven't shown you just yet. But they're just little figures in a scene, kind of. The Goose Girl, Enna Burning, River Secrets, and Forest Born, all by Shannon Hale. The Giver, Gathering Blue, Messenger, and Sun, all by Lois Lowry. Then we have the Trial series in a complete bind-up, so that one includes Switched, Ascend, and Torn. And then Frostfire, Ice Kissed, and Crystal Kingdom, all of those by Amanda Hocking. The Darkest Minds, Never Fade, Into the Afterlight, and Through the Dark, all by Alexandra Bracken. The Book of a Thousand Days by Shannon Hale. The Bone Season, The Mime Order, and The Song Rising, all by Samantha Shannon. Okay, the next shelf down is just more of the same books, more series mostly, and a few of the little Minecraft figures. Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant, and Four, all by Veronica Roth. The Testing, Independent Study, and Graduation Day, all by Joelle Charbonneau. The Girl King by Mimi Yu. Burn Bright by Marianne D. Perez. Magonia by Maria Devona Headley. The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. Artemis by Andy Weir. Uprooted by Naomi Novak. The Iron Trial and the Copper Gauntlet by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. The Novice, The Inquisition, The Battle Mage, and The Outcast by Taran Matharu. Okay, and this is the last shelf on this bookcase that actually has any books on it. There's one lower than this one, but it's just got some bookends. Doesn't have any books. And this one has a couple series and then some standalones on it. Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Leviathan. Between the Blade and the Heart and From the Earth to the Shadows, both by Amanda Hocking. So I don't think I'll get these books out of the box set, just because, one, it's a nightmare to get out, and also because I actually own all of these books already. They're on the bookshelves that I've just been through. They're just a bit spread out, and this is just a different edition that my sister owns. But these are Vampire Academy, Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and The Last Sacrifice, all by Rochelle Mead. The Outliers, The Scattering, and The Collide by Kimberly McCreight. The List by Patricia Ford, Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth, The Extinction Trials, Exile and Rebel, all by S.M. Wilson. Alright, so now we're on to my graphic novel little bookshelf. It's just one of the 4 cube kind of bookshelves because they seem to fit graphic novels really well. I don't have too many graphic novels, and I really can't be bothered getting them out to actually show you the covers, so I'm just going to go through what ones I have on the shelves basically. So these first few are the first volume of graphic novels that I've tried out and haven't continued with yet. So we have Sex Criminals, Paper Girls, Scarlet Witch, S.H.I.E.L.D., Morning Glories, The X-Files, Monstrous. I do have Pierce Brown's Red Rising graphic novel. I haven't read it yet because I haven't read the Red Rising series yet. And then Lock and Key. I then have the first 7 volumes of Amulet, Nimona by Noelle Stevenson, Wires and Nerve and Gone Rogue by Marissa Meyer. So these are the graphic novel series that goes after the Lunar Chronicles series. And at the very end I have Adulthood is a Myth. Okay, so at the bottom, these 2 shelves are almost full. On this side we have a lot of my favourites, and then that side has, those ones on the end are my sister's that she's lent me because I asked for some good recommendations and that's what she gave me to read, and then just some other ones that I own. So we'll start with this side. So we have the first 9 volumes in the Saga series, which is excellent, and they still haven't come back to write the 10th one yet, which is very sad, but I will be eagerly waiting the next one. Then we have the first 5 volumes in the Rat Queen series. Unfortunately, I've really haven't liked the past 2 volumes that I've read in the Rat Queen series. The first 3 were excellent, I loved them. The last 2 have really put me off and I won't be continuing with it. Then we have Alex and Ada, volumes 1 to 3. East of West, volume 1 and 2. And then we have all of my Avatar, The Last Airbender graphic novels. So we have The Promise, parts 1, 2, 3. The Search, The Rift, Smoke and Shadow, and then North and South. I've only got part 1 at the moment. And last on this one is Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too. Right, on this side we have my Fables graphic novels first, which I have just odd ones of at the moment. So I've got volumes 1 to 4, and then I have volumes 9, 10, 11. And also I have some of the spin-offs, so the Fairest spin-off, and one of the Werewolf spin-offs that comes after all those. And then on this side, from my sister's collection, we have Princess Ever After, The Prince and the Dressmaker, Help Us Great Warrior, Stage Dreams, Kim Reaper, Moonstruck volumes 1 and 2, and Fence volumes 1, 2 and 3. So now we are on to the last bookcase, and this one is actually my biggest. This is the one that I've had since I was a teenager. It's the first bookcase that I had, and it has really, really deep shelves. So with this bookcase, I actually lie books down and then put them upright on top, and that's just because the bookshelves are so tall that it wastes space just to have it then put down normally. So with this bookcase, I'm not going to get out the books that are laying down, just because they're an absolute nightmare to get out and then to put back in. So instead I'm just going to read out their titles, especially because some of them I already have in different editions in the other room. These are just like the first editions that I had of them. So starting from this side, we have City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Heavenly Fire, and City of Lost Souls, all by Cassandra Clare. I have a book of Doctor Who stories. We have Endgame, Sky Key, and Rules of the Game, all by James Frey, Embrace by Jessica Shervington, Still Me and After You by Jojo Moyes, Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, Into the Water by Paula Hawkins, The Way of Kings Part 2 by Brandon Sanderson, Girl of Nightmares by Kendall Blake, The Pirate's Wish by Cassandra Rose Clarke, and The Skull Throne by Peter V. Brett. Obernewton, The Far Seekers, Aisling, The Keeping Place, The Stone Key, and The Sending, all by Isabel Kamadi. The Golden Compass, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass, all by Philip Pullman. Succubus Blues, Succubus on Top, Succubus Nights, Succubus Dreams, Succubus Heat, and Succubus Revealed, all by Rochelle Mead. Mistborn, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. Night Shift by Lilith St. Crow. The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa. Fated by Alison Knoll. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Elegy by Amanda Hocking. Tithe, Valiant, and Ironside, all by Holly Black. Written in Red, Vision in Silver, and Murder of Crows by Anne Bishop. The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, The Last Olympian, and The Lost Hero, all by Rick Riordan. The Field Guide, The Seeing Stone, Lucinda's Secret, The Ironwood Tree, and The Wrath of Morgorath, all by Tony DiTillerizzi and Holly Black. This next shelf has the least amount on it, just as I've put my two dog bookends and two little vase thingies on here, just to break it up a little bit, not have it just all be books, because it is in the living room. Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Paper Towns by John Green. Because You Love to Hate Me, edited by Anne-Marie. Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Wake by Amanda Hocking. Ice Wolves by Amy Kaufman. Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. Lullaby by Amanda Hocking. Wicked Lovely by Melissa Marr. Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. Serafina by Rachel Hartman. Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. Grave Mercy by Robin Lefevers. Tidal by Amanda Hocking. So this is another full shelf that has a lot of series on it. Some of these books aren't mine, and you'll see in the next shelf some of those aren't either. They're my mum's books. She doesn't have a bookshelf, so she just puts them in here. So again, I'll just read out the names of the lying down books, just because I'm not getting them out. Dust by Patricia Cornwell. The Red Queen by Isabel Kamadi. The Shadowhunters Codex. The Old Kingdom Chronicles Bind-Up by Garth Nix. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. 206 Bones by Kathy Reichs. The Distance by Helen Giltro. The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. The Girl in the Spider's Web by David Lagerkrantz. The Eternity Cure by Julia Kagawa. Spellcaster by Claudia Gray. Sharp Objects and The Grown-Up by Gillian Flynn. The Snowman by Jo Nesbo. And then on the end, on that side, we have Unraveled by Jenna Showalter. All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. Carol by Patricia Highsmith. And The Taker by Alma Katsu. Okay, even though these books are beautiful and I would love to show the covers, I'm struggling to get them out of the box set. So I'm just going to keep them as they are here. So this is A Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords, Part 1 and Part 2, A Feast for Crows, and A Dance with Dragons, Part 1 and 2, all by George R.R. Martin. An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. Betrayal and Eternal by Gillian Shields. The Dark Wife and Twixt by Sarah Diemer. Rise of the Blood Moon by Alan Gibbons. The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. Shatter Me, Unravel Me, Ignite Me, and Unite Me, all by Sahara Mafi. Echo by Alison Knoll. Shadowhunters and Downworlders, edited by Cassandra Clare. The Forest of Hands and Teeth by Carrie Ryan. Annexed by Sharon Dogar. Lost in a Book by Jennifer Donnelly. The Maze Runner, The Scorched Trials, The Death Cure, and The Kill Order, all by James Dashner. Morning Star by Pierce Brown. The Fifth Wave, The Infinite Sea, and The Last Star by Rick Yancey. Half Bad by Sally Green. Immortal by Gillian Shields. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, all by J.K. Rowling. This is the last shelf that really has any books on it. There are 3 books on the very bottom shelf, but I'm not going to bother going down there. I'll just bring those books up. And this shelf just has a lot of miscellaneous kind of things, a lot of my mum's books, and some of my series. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Played with Fire, The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, and The Girl Who Lived Twice, all by Stieg Larsson. The last book was continued by David Lagerkrantz. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, and The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner, all by Stephanie Meyer. Stormglass by Maria V. Snyder. Endgame, The Complete Training Diaries by James Frey. Ruined by Amy Tintera. Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Infinity by Sarah Dessen. Flesh and Blood, Depraved Heart, The Bone Bed, and Chaos, all by Patricia Cornwell. House of Secrets, Battle of the Beasts by Chris Columbus and Ned Vizzini. A bind-up of Book of Shadows, The Coven and Blood Witch by Kate Tierman. The Body Finder, Desires of the Dead, Dead Silence, and The Last Echo, all by Kimberly Derting. The Tales of Beetle the Bard, Quidditch Through the Ages, and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, all by J.K. Rowling. Seriously, I'm Kidding by Ellen DeGeneres. Someday by David Leviathan. Force of Nature, The Lost Man, and The Dry, all by Jane Harper. The Bronze Horseman, Tatiana and Alexander, and The Summer Garden, all by Paulina Simons. So that was all of the 5 bookcases that I own. If you've made it this far, well done, because it is a very long video at this point. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.